I want to start just with the team that I think won the day, guys. The New York Knicks continue to make smart moves and set themselves up for flexibility in the future. They get Bojan Bogdanovic and Alec Burks from Detroit, and really they only gave up Quentin Grimes. I think overall this is a great trade, especially for right now when you consider the Knicks dealing with all these, really bad injury luck. They get two guys who can come in, play immediately. You add two more ball handlers, some positional flexibility with Bojan Bogdanovic allows you to slide him up to the 4, which of course gets Josh Hart out of that position. And Bojan only makes $19 million next year, so you can keep him if you like him. This is a pretty good deal, I think, for the Knicks.
I think it's a great deal for the Knicks, to be honest. Like, I felt like they were a kind of a wing player away from really being contenders. Now, I don't think Bogdanovic is fully that, but adding more scoring, another a taller scorer in that sense, assuming when they're fully healthy, I think this was a great move for them. And the most important thing, again, is they kept the powder dry. Didn't include any first-round picks. I didn't feel like they lost anything major in their rotations. I didn't feel like it's a painful thing. I think when you just think of kind of the starting lineup of Jalen Brunson, OG Anunoby, Bogdanovic, Randall, and Hartenstein, like that's a fun freaking starting lineup. I don't think it's championship level, but I mean, the way the East is looking, it's conference finals level.
I think that we're also overlooking the fact that we don't know exactly how long Julius Randle is going to be out, and especially given some of the physical ailments that are afflicting a lot of the top East teams, the Knicks are like, hey, can we get to the 2 seed? Can we, and I think that having Bogdanovic being able to play those power forward minutes while Randall and we're not exactly sure when Anunoby comes back either. I think so. It's both for like the immediate future, but also gives them a lot more juice as just a playoff rotation. And like you said, Mo, I don't think they had to give up much to do it. I like Quentin Grimes. He hasn't had a great year, and he's been hurt a little bit, and he's been supplanted by various Villanova players in their rotation, but they didn't really, when this trade was first reported, it first came out that it was Quentin Grimes for Burks, and I was like, oh wow, Detroit did something I liked, and then the other shoe dropped, and it was like, oh no, they didn't.
We'll get to Detroit. We'll get to Detroit.
I
have a lot for Detroit. Like I have a lot, so just
Detroit did a lot today. Whether it was good or not, debatable, but they did a lot.
We'll discuss.
Andrew, Bojan Bogdanovic is a guy that really, he could have fit with OKC, and OKC made a move for a similar player, but he could have fit with OKC. You see the fit with New York. I mean, I think it makes so much sense, but the bigger thing is Tibbs now has, 10, 11 guys. I mean, he played a game the other night. What was it? 6 guys he played in the second half. He's got some guys now.
Yeah, you can have a real rotation now with these guys. And they lost some scoring punch when they traded Quickly and Barrett, and they've kind of replaced that and get to keep OG Anunoby. And I feel like this is like a real team now. Like I really like what they've done, like Mo said, without trading any first round picks, because that's what we kind of expected for them. It's like they're going to get better. They're going to deal these excess first round picks that they have in order to get better. And they didn't do that. So they maintain this flexibility. They become a better team. And like what they really needed was depth. Like ask anybody on that Knicks roster, what do you need? Like somebody else that can play so that I'm not playing 40 minutes a game. That is really going to help if they can get healthy.
I would just be wary of that because I still think Tibbs will play some of those guys.
Oh,
40
yeah.
minutes a game anyway.
Think about how rare it is. Think about how rare it is in the NBA for a player to complain that he's playing too much. I mean, Josh Hart has been doing this for about a month now. I mean, poor Fred Katz. Like, I don't know. He's going to have to find another reason to talk to Josh Hart because Josh Hart has been telling him that he's playing too much. He hates playing the 4. I think this solves a lot of problems for them. And Tom Thibodeau loves Alec Burks so much that he now has it's almost like a comfort food. He can just say, hey, Alec Burks, go get me a bucket. This is a team that I think not only did they set themselves up to weather this injury storm that they're currently going through, but I think both of these guys are going to help them in the playoffs. I mean, when have we ever heard a team say, oh, we just have too many guys that can dribble? Never.
Not in this league.
maybe too many guys who like to dribble, but
That's
that's
the
not a
problem. No, no, no.
That's-
You have too many guys that want to dribble.
Yeah.
That's a whole different
Yeah.
story in that
Mhm.
situation. But just the bigger picture for the Knicks is like, look, this is great for them right now. It sets them up nicely in the offseason when they want to make trades and whatnot. Like, look, Bogdanovich, if they're going to take a big swing, is a piece that they can include in some of those trades in the offseason and things like that. I think it really sets them up for the future. Like, hey, man, like, Leon Rose may not talk to the public very often or the media very much, but he's doing a hell of a job with the Knicks. And it's been a long freaking time since we could talk about the competency of the New York Knicks. And he's brought it to the organization since he's gotten there.
It's hitting singles and doubles. And we talked about this for years on this show in particular. And we talked about it with the Knicks. Constantly swinging for home runs just left them with nothing. And I think they hit 2 doubles here. I mean, this is a really good trade for them from a roster construction, from a cap space perspective, from future flexibility standpoint. I mean, it's a home run trade because they hit 2 doubles. I love it so much.
The one thing you would say, still looking at their team, and they're not the only team like this, but there is they've got a lot of guards and a lot of bigger players, and in sort of the mid-sized, it's basically OG Anunoby, and even he is he's a 3-4 or a 4-3. So that's just, like I said, everyone in the world is sort of missing that mid-sized guy. And that's I'd say where they were a little short, but those guys don't grow on trees. And, whatever we heard sort of asking prices were for the Mikal Bridges of the world was certainly not something that they were going to meet, even if Bridges was even of a Mikal Bridges, Mo,